Longtime Colts owner and CEO Jim Irsay has passed away at the age of 65. Back in 2012, he did a rare sit-down with me for the special face-to-face, and he shared his passion not only for the team, but also for music and his renowned collection. The times, they are a-changin' for Jim Irsay, CEO and owner of the Indianapolis Colts, and collector of more than 100 guitars.
This, which a lot of Dead fans will want to see, is Tiger. This is Elvis right over here. This one is really special. Lennon played it on the White Album, and George...
May I?
No, go
really?
ahead.
You don't mind?
No.
Is there a proper way to hold this?
Just any way that you don't drop it. That's the only problem.
You know, everybody thinks of him as the Colts football owner. I think of Jim Irsay as a sort of a literary impresario of both contemporary fiction and rock and roll.
Irsay spent $2.4 million on the original manuscript of Jack Kerouac's Beat Generation classic, On the Road. His prolific tweets range from song lyrics to player transactions.
In many ways, with roster moves, it was good because it took the burden off us. We didn't have to worry about getting it out there.
The tweeting, the dressing up like Willy Wonka, the giving away Super Bowl rings to fans.
I think as an owner, you wish that that certain times and eras could last forever. I mean, you really do.
When people write the history of the Colts, it's going to be Irsay's pulling the team together with Manning leading it. They're tied together in football history as much as Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr.
My commitment to doing what we need to do will always be resolute, and that's the way it has to be.
So grateful to have Peyton Manning with us to remember Jim Irsay. And first of all, very sorry for your loss. This is the guy who brought you into the NFL, first selection in the draft in 1998. What did Jim Irsay mean to you?
Well, thanks for having me, Hannah. Yeah, it's been a sad couple of days. Jim's gone way too soon, but he did not get shorted in life. Jim Irsay lived life to the fullest. I can guarantee you that. And he will be missed by so many. But yeah, Hannah, he gave me my start in the NFL, 1998. And I haven't watched every draft since then, but I know it was very rare that the owner was at the draft. Jim Irsay handed Paul Tagliabue the card that said, Colts select Peyton Manning. And he also wanted to know what jersey number I wanted to wear. And so on Friday, when it became official, when the Colts called me the day before the draft, or maybe 2 days before the draft, maybe that Thursday, they said, we're going to take you. And so Jim had number 18 Manning Colts jersey FedExed up to the draft in New York. And I think I'm the only player ever to hold their actual jersey at the draft, not just the number one. So to me, Hannah, when that's your first day on the job and you see your owner there, you see him wanting to have my number, that told me how committed he was to winning. And it was just a great way to start your career, because I realized it wasn't like that everywhere. And look, he was one of a kind. We all know him. Anybody that's gotten to meet him, he was unique, but he loved the Colts. He loved the players that played for him, and I'll always be indebted to him for giving me my chance in the NFL.
He was so passionate about this franchise. I mean, from the top to the very bottom. I remember you guys went to the Super Bowl, and he literally flew everybody and their families there. And he would come in the locker room and give speeches. And 3 Hall of Famers have asked him to do their intros at the Hall. Can you just speak to the relationship that he built with the players?
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that Jim Irsay loved the Colts more than any other owner loved their team. I know that's a great debate, but he grew up in Baltimore, right? He was a ball boy when, Johnny Unitas was playing, and was a scout, was a general manager. Obviously, was there, when his dad moved the team in the middle of the night. So he grew up not just wanting to be a part of an NFL team, wanting to be a part of the Colts. And in fact, in 1997, he becomes the owner of the Colts the year before they draft me. He just had a real passion for it. And like I said, he loved everything about it, and the players loved him. He was the kind of guy you wanted to play hard for, that you wanted to win for. You saw those clips. He was in the locker room. Those weren't just road games. I'm sorry, those weren't just home games. He was there on the road in the locker room, shaking the players' hands after a win, after a loss. And look, Hannah, I mean, you could have a conversation with him, and you could be talking about, hey, what we have to get on defense next year in the draft. Next thing you know, he's talking about George Halas. Next thing you know, he's quoting Bob Dylan and John Lennon. That could all happen in one conversation, Hannah.
Exactly.
I'm not sure there's any other NFL owner that's going to be able to quote Bob Dylan in a football conversation. So, but like I said, you just loved his passion.
Yeah.
And Hannah, the answer was always yes. When Bill Polian said, hey, we got to have some money to go out and sign a new defensive tackle, the answer was yes, because he knew that was going to help us win. And that's the kind of owner you want to play for as well. That the answer is yes. The resources are going to be there. We'll do whatever it takes to win. Tony Dungy felt that way. I know I felt that way, and that's why it was a great place to play.
And so he had seen close hand the Steelers and the way that Art Rooney had really tied the Steelers to the city of Pittsburgh. And that was his vision, right? To make Indianapolis a football town, to connect their fans, because it was a basketball town, right? It was a car racing town. How was he able to do that, to cement football into that culture and to impact the city of Indianapolis so powerfully?
You're absolutely right. Certainly when I got there, basketball, Indiana basketball, car racing, Indy 500, that was it. And kind of in that, I think football was the third sport. Maybe
Right.
not. Golf might have been in there. And all of a sudden, because of the commitment Jim made to winning, because now it's his team, right? He's the owner. He's not the son of an owner. He goes out and hires Bill Polian, who had rebuilt the Buffalo Bills, had started the Carolina Panthers as a new franchise, takes them to the NFC Championship, and then he drafts, Edgerrin James. Obviously, he re-signs Marvin Harrison, who's already there, and next thing you know, the Colts all of a sudden are beating Miami. They're beating Buffalo. They're winning their division. And all of a sudden, hey, the Colts are for real. And all of a sudden, we hire Tony Dungy and then start winning the division every single year. And right before your eyes, Hannah, Indianapolis became the biggest football town. High school football goes up. Fans wear more jerseys at a Colts game than any other stadium out there.
Yep.
And that was Jim's commitment. That was his commitment to the city. That he was going to bring him a winner once he kind of took over, and he did it. And like I said, as a player, that's the kind of environment that you want to play in. Look, losses we all took hard. Nobody took them harder than me, but Jim was right there, and we knew, hey, the two Super Bowls that we played in Indianapolis, we had disappointing losses, the year before, and it's the kind of loss that sometimes an owner might go, hey, let's fire everybody. Let's get somebody new. And Jim was always about, no, hey, we're doing something right here. Let's just keep working. Let's keep sawing wood. Let's keep knocking on the door. And we got over the hump the next year. And so that's what he was about. He was about continuity. And that's why we were so consistent, I think, as a Colts team during those years.
Yeah, that consistency speaks volumes, that positivity and really that passion that he had. And it all did culminate in that Super Bowl appearance, that incredible victory in the pouring rain in Miami. It was just so magical. There's an iconic